The great hall of Nexus Prime buzzed with the voices of a dozen different alien species. Ambassador Lee Min-jun sat quietly at the human table, watching the heated debate unfold around him. 6 months had passed since Earth joined the Galactic Council, and today the other species were discussing humanity's place in their galaxy. "The humans are simply too weak," declared Ambassador Zethkar, his reptilian scales gleaming under the station's lights. The Velcran leader stood tall, his yellow eyes scanning the room with confidence. "Their ships barely qualify as military vessels. We have all seen the recordings." "Well, to Anasi," Park So-young, sitting beside Min-jun, made careful notes on her tablet. She had served as Earth's military attaché for 3 months now, and she found these council meetings very educational. Not for the reasons the aliens thought, though. Commander Thys clicked his mandibles in agreement. The insectoid Chithari was known for his direct approach to problems. The marauder fleets grow bolder. Each cycle, they attack our trade routes and steal our cargo. If we allow humans into contested space, they will simply become easy prey. High Counselor Vexani floated above the central platform, her energy form shifting between blue and purple. As the eldest member of the council, she tried to maintain order during these discussions. "Please, let us review the evidence before making decisions." The main screen activated, showing footage from recent encounters. Human patrol ships fled from marauder attacks, their small weapons doing little damage before they retreated. The videos showed exactly what Earth wanted the galaxy to see. "Look at this." Zethkar pointed at the screen with one clawed finger. 3 human ships run from a single marauder destroyer. They do not even attempt to fight back properly. How can we expect them to defend important shipping lanes? Other species nodded in agreement. The Borthak representative made rumbling sounds of approval. The crystalline Cynthians chimed their support. Even the peaceful Aldorian delegation seemed concerned about human military capabilities. So-young continued taking notes. She recorded every species that spoke, their military assessments, and their assumptions about human technology. The information would prove very useful later. "The humans should focus on what they do well," suggested the Mithari ambassador. Her forearms gestured gracefully as she spoke. "They grow excellent food and seem skilled at peaceful activities. Perhaps they should leave military matters to those better equipped." Min-jun listened to the discussion with a calm expression. He had expected this reaction from the galactic community. Earth's leadership had planned for exactly this scenario when they designed their first contact protocols. "We appreciate your concern for our safety," Min-jun said when the room finally grew quiet. He stood slowly, his simple human appearance contrasting sharply with the exotic aliens around him. "Earth understands that we are new to galactic affairs. Then you agree that restrictions are necessary?" Zethkar asked, leaning forward eagerly. "Humans should remain in safe systems until they develop better defenses." "We trust the wisdom of this council," Min-jun replied smoothly. "If you believe certain areas are too dangerous for human ships, we will respect those boundaries." The ease of his agreement surprised several delegates. Most species fought hard against any limitations on their expansion rights. The Velcran had expected humans to argue and protest like everyone else. Commander Thys studied the human ambassador carefully. "You accept these restrictions without protest?" "Most species would demand full access to all trade routes." Min-jun smiled politely. "Earth values peaceful cooperation over territorial disputes. We prefer to build trust slowly rather than rush into dangerous situations." The council spent the next hour debating the exact boundaries of human space access. They drew lines on star charts, marking which systems humans could enter and which remained off-limits. The restricted zones included most of the valuable trade routes and resource-rich sectors. So-young recorded every detail of the restrictions. She noted which species controlled which areas and how they defended their territories. The military attaché was building a comprehensive database of galactic defensive strategies. "The vote is unanimous," announced High Counselor Vexani, after the final tally. Human expansion will be limited to designated safe zones for their own protection. These boundaries will be reviewed annually as human capabilities improve. The other delegates seemed pleased with the outcome. They had solved the problem of weak humans, endangering themselves, while maintaining control of the most profitable space lanes. Several species were already planning to increase their own territorial claims. Minjun bowed respectfully to the council. Earth, thanks you for your guidance and protection. We look forward to proving ourselves worthy of your trust. As the session ended, delegates from various species approached the human table. Some offered advice on ship designs. Others suggested defensive technologies humans might purchase. All of them spoke to Minjun and So Young as if they were talking to children who needed guidance. Your species shows promise, the Mithari ambassador said kindly. Perhaps in a few decades, you will be ready for more responsibilities. The Velcran Republic would be happy to provide escort services for human cargo ships. Zethkar added with what might have been a smile. For a reasonable fee, of course. So Young smiled and exchanged contact information with several species. They were very willing to share details about their military services, defensive capabilities, and strategic thinking. Information that Earth found quite valuable. When the last delegate had left, Minjun and So Young gathered their materials. They walked through the station's corridors toward the human quarters, passing shops and restaurants filled with diverse alien species. They really believe we are helpless? So Young observed quietly, speaking Korean so no translation software could understand. Every single species assumes our retreat videos show weakness rather than strategy. Minjun nodded, still maintaining his diplomatic smile for the cameras that tracked their movement. They see what we want them to see. Small ships, defensive tactics, and a preference for running from fights. The intelligence we gathered today will be very useful. So Young continued in their native language. Every species revealed their assessment criteria and defensive assumptions. They reached their quarters and activated the privacy shields Earth had quietly installed. Only then did Minjun allow his diplomatic mask to slip slightly. He opened a secure communication channel to Earth, using encryption methods far more advanced than anything the galactic community suspected humans possessed. The connection established quickly through quantum relay networks hidden throughout the solar system. Command, this is Minjun. The fish have taken the bait completely. He spoke in Korean, knowing that even if aliens intercepted the transmission, they lacked the cultural context to understand the metaphor. Every species has shown their hand. They believe we are exactly as weak as we appear. The response came immediately from Earth's command center. Understood, Ambassador. How did they respond to the territorial restrictions? They placed us exactly where we wanted to be. Safe systems with clear boundaries, no obligation to defend trade routes, and freedom to develop without oversight. Minjun smiled genuinely, for the first time all day. They think they are protecting us while they fight over the valuable territory. So Young activated her own terminal and began uploading the intelligence she had gathered. Military assessments, defensive strategies, technological capabilities, and territorial claims from every major galactic power. Information that would prove invaluable when Earth was ready to reveal its true capabilities. Phase 1 is complete. Minjun concluded his report. The galaxy has accepted human weakness as fact. They have shown us their strengths and revealed their assumptions. We can proceed to Phase 2 whenever command determines the time is right. The response from Earth was brief but satisfied. Excellent work. Continue building relationships and gathering intelligence. The galaxy will understand human capabilities when we choose to show them. Not before. Minjun ended the transmission and looked out at the stars visible through his quarters viewports. Somewhere out there, hidden in the darkness between worlds, Earth's true military forces waited patiently for their moment to emerge. The galaxy had made assumptions about humanity based on limited information. They would learn eventually that underestimating humans was a dangerous mistake. But not today. Today, Earth continued to watch, learn, and prepare. The game of galactic chess had begun, and the other players did not even realize they were already several moves behind. Admiral Kim Tae-hyun stood on the bridge of the most powerful warship in the galaxy, watching the dark side of Pluto through the massive view screen. The UES Indomitable hung motionless in the planet's shadow, invisible to any scanning technology known to galactic science. "Status report," the Admiral requested, his calm voice carrying easily across the bridge. Captain Yoon Ji-hae turned from her command station. "All systems operating at optimal efficiency, sir. The ship remains undetected. Our passive sensors continue monitoring galactic communications without any indication that other species suspect our presence." The Indomitable was a marvel of human engineering. 3 kilometers long and nearly 1 kilometer wide, the Supercarrier dwarfed anything the galactic community had ever built. Its hull incorporated stealth technology that rendered it nearly invisible, while its interior housed enough firepower to challenge entire alien fleets. Chief Engineer Choi Dong-wook approached from the engineering section. "Admiral, I have completed the monthly review of our stealth systems. The adaptive camouflage continues to function perfectly. Even if an alien ship passed within a few thousand kilometers, they would detect nothing but empty space." Kim nodded with satisfaction. Earth had spent 3 years building and perfecting the Indomitable in absolute secrecy. While other species focused on building larger weapons or thicker armor, human engineers had solved the problem of invisibility itself. "Dr. Lim, what is our current intelligence assessment?" the Admiral asked. Dr. Lim Hae-won looked up from her analysis station. As the ship's xenobiologist and tactical advisor, she had been studying alien military capabilities since the Indomitable became operational. "The data from Ambassador Min Jun's latest meeting confirms our previous assessments. Every major galactic power has now revealed their strategic thinking and defensive capabilities." The doctor activated the main tactical display, showing a 3-dimensional map of known space. Different colors marked the territories of various alien species, their trade routes, and their military deployments. "The Velcran focus on individual ship superiority," she explained. "They build powerful vessels but coordinate poorly between ships. The Chitauri prefer swarm tactics but lack adaptability when their initial plans fail. The Cynthians rely entirely on their crystalline technology, which creates predictable vulnerabilities." Captain Yoon studied the tactical information with interest. "What about their combined fleet operations?" "The Council claims to coordinate defensive strategies." "That is their greatest weakness, Doctor," Lim replied. "Each species insists on using their own communication protocols, command structures, and tactical doctrines. When they attempt joint operations, the results are chaotic at best." Admiral Kim walked to the forward viewports, looking out at the stars that contained dozens of alien civilizations. "They assume that military power comes from size, advanced weapons, or superior numbers. They do not understand that true strength comes from adaptation, coordination, and strategic thinking." The bridge crew continued their work around him. Officers monitored galactic communications, analyzed alien ship movements, and maintained the complex systems that kept their massive ship hidden. Everyone aboard the Indomitable was hand-picked from Earth's best military personnel. "Admiral," called Lieutenant Commander Park Jae-sung from the communications station. "We are receiving a priority message from Earth Command." Kim returned to his command chair. "Put it through. Secure channel only." The communication came through quantum-encrypted channels that alien technology could not detect, much less decode. Earth's voice reached across the solar system instantly, through networks the galactic community never suspected existed. "Indomitable, this is Earth Command. We have received Ambassador Min Jun's latest report. The Council has officially classified humans as a protected species, requiring territorial restrictions." Admiral Kim smiled slightly. The plan was working perfectly. "Understood, Command. How should we proceed?" "Continue current operations. monitor alien military activities, and gather additional intelligence on their capabilities. The Marauder situation is developing as predicted. Several alien species are requesting increased defensive support. Captain Yoon leaned forward with interest. The Marauders are increasing their attacks? Affirmative, came the reply from Earth. Our analysis suggests they are testing galactic defenses before launching a major offensive. This will provide an excellent opportunity to observe alien military responses under actual combat conditions. Chief Engineer Choi spoke up from his station. Sir, all fighter squadrons remain at full readiness. We can launch 1,200 advanced fighters within 30 minutes, if required. The number was staggering. Most alien species considered 50 fighters a substantial force. The Indomitable carried more combat aircraft than some entire alien fleets, each equipped with technology that surpassed galactic standards by decades. Dr. Lim accessed another set of data files. Our cultural exchange programs continue to provide valuable intelligence. Alien species are very willing to discuss their military history, tactical preferences, and strategic thinking with harmless humans. Earth had been conducting these exchanges for months. Human scientists, artists, and scholars visited alien worlds, asking innocent questions about culture and history. The aliens eagerly shared information about their greatest military victories, their technological achievements, and their strategic philosophies. They think they are educating primitive humans about galactic civilization, Admiral Kim observed. Instead, they are providing us with detailed intelligence about their capabilities and limitations. Lieutenant Commander Park received another transmission. Admiral, our deep space sensors have detected increased Marauder fleet movements in the Outer Rim. They appear to be massing for coordinated attacks. Kim studied the sensor data on his tactical display. Marauder ships were crude but numerous, and their captains showed no concern for casualties or collateral damage. They represented exactly the kind of threat that would force alien species to reveal their true military capabilities. Dr. Lim, what is your assessment of galactic defensive readiness? He asked. The xenobiologist consulted her files. Most alien fleets are deployed defensively around their home systems or valuable trade routes. They have no unified command structure and limited coordination between species. If the Marauders launch simultaneous attacks across multiple sectors, the galactic response will be fragmented and ineffective. Captain Yoon nodded in understanding. The aliens will be forced to request assistance from any available source, including humans. Which brings us to the next phase of our operation, Admiral Kim confirmed. Chief Engineer, I want all systems ready for immediate activation. When the time comes to reveal our capabilities, the Indomitable must be prepared to demonstrate the full extent of human military technology. Choi smiled with anticipation. Yes, sir. The adaptive weapon systems are calibrated for maximum effectiveness against known alien ship designs. Our electronic warfare suites can penetrate any galactic communication network, and our fabrication bays can produce replacement fighters faster than most species can build individual ships. The engineering accomplishments represented by the Indomitable were staggering. While aliens focused on specialization, humans had built modularity and adaptability into every system. The ship could reconfigure itself for different mission requirements within hours. What about crew readiness? Kim asked Captain Yoon. All personnel have completed training in alien contact protocols and multi-species operations. We are prepared for peaceful cooperation, defensive assistance, or full combat operations as the situation requires. Admiral Kim stood and walked around the bridge, observing his crew at work. These men and women represented the best of humanity, trained to operate technology that the galaxy would find incomprehensible. Our mission remains unchanged, he announced to the bridge crew. We observe, we learn, and we prepare. When Earth decides to reveal our true capabilities, we will do so in a manner that serves humanity's long-term interests. The crew responded with quiet confidence. They understood the importance of their mission and the responsibility that came with operating such a powerful vessel. Dr. Lim brought up another display showing galactic political relationships. Admiral, the territorial restrictions placed on human expansion may actually work in our favor. Other species will compete for the valuable systems while humans remain safely outside contested areas. Until we choose otherwise, Kim agreed. The galaxy assumes that military power requires aggressive expansion and territorial control. They do not understand that true strength comes from patience, preparation, and choosing your moment carefully. The bridge fell quiet except for the soft sounds of functioning systems. Outside the viewports, Pluto's surface rotated slowly beneath them, hiding the most powerful warship in known space behind its bulk. Earth had learned from human history that revealing your full capabilities too early could lead to premature conflicts and unnecessary casualties. Better to remain underestimated until the moment came to demonstrate true strength. Sir, Lieutenant Commander Park called out. Long-range sensors are detecting massive energy signatures in the Helix Nebula region. Multiple ship formations moving toward civilian shipping lanes. Quote, Marketing Reason 2. Admiral Kim returned to his command chair. The Marauders are beginning their offensive. Signal Earth Command that the situation is developing as anticipated. Captain Yoon checked her status displays. All departments report ready for emergency deployment if required. Not yet, Kim decided. Let the galaxy face this challenge with their own resources first. We need to see how effectively alien species can coordinate their defenses under pressure. The crew settled in to monitor the developing crisis. Soon, the galaxy would discover whether their assumptions about military cooperation and defensive strategies were correct. And when they failed, as Earth's analysis predicted they would, humanity would finally have the opportunity to reveal what they had been building in the darkness between worlds. Captain Park Woojin checked his navigation display as the transport ship Serenity dropped out of hyperspace near the Helix Nebula. The cargo holds were filled with medical supplies and food rations destined for the struggling colony on Kepler-7. It seemed like a routine humanitarian mission. Captain, I am detecting 3 unknown ships on an intercept course, reported Navigation Officer Kim Min-ho from his station. Energy signatures match Marauder. Destroyer classification. Park nodded calmly. Signal them our identification and cargo manifest. Inform them we are carrying humanitarian supplies under galactic protection protocols. The Serenity appeared to be exactly what it claimed. A simple human transport vessel carrying relief supplies to needy colonists. Its hull was unremarkable, its weapon systems minimal, and its crew small. The Marauders would see an easy target. Commander Nam Subin sat quietly at her station, monitoring the approaching ships. As the leader of the Serenity's fighter squadron, she was prepared for what would come next. Her pilots were already in their ships, waiting in the hidden launch bays. The main screen activated, showing the scarred face of Marauder warlord Krixthak. His species was unknown, but his reputation for cruelty was legendary throughout the galaxy. Behind him, the bridge of his destroyer buzzed with activity. Human vessel, you will surrender your cargo and prepare to be boarded, Krixthak demanded. Resist, and we will take what we want from your wreckage. Park maintained his diplomatic composure. Warlord, we are carrying medical supplies for 6 civilians. Surely there is no profit in attacking a humanitarian mission. Krixthak laughed, a harsh sound that sent chills through the human crew. Humans make excellent slaves. Your cargo will sell well, and your crew even better. You have 30 seconds to comply. The 3 Marauder destroyers closed in formation, their weapons powering up. Each ship was larger than the Serenity and armed with enough firepower to destroy most civilian vessels. They expected the usual pattern: surrender, capture, and profit. Signal to all hands, Park announced calmly. Prepare for defensive maneuvers. Commander Nam activated her tactical display. 18 fighters sat ready in concealed bays throughout the ship. Each pilot was highly trained and equipped with technology that exceeded most galactic military standards. But their orders were specific: reveal some capabilities while hiding others. Launching defensive fighters, Nam reported as the bay doors opened. The Marauder crews watched in surprise as sleek human fighters emerged from hidden compartments. They had expected the transport to be defenseless, not carrying its own escort squadron. Interesting, Crixthak muttered. The humans have some bite after all. Destroy the fighters and disable their ship. I want prisoners. The Marauder destroyers opened fire with plasma cannons and missile batteries. Their tactics were crude, but effective against most opponents. Overwhelming firepower applied without subtlety or coordination. Nam's fighters moved in response, using evasive patterns that confused the Marauder gunners. Human pilots flew with precision and coordination that alien crews rarely achieved. They worked together as a single unit rather than individual fighters. Target their weapon systems, Nam ordered over the squadron frequency. Disable, don't destroy. We need them functional for intelligence gathering. The fighters attacked with surgical precision. Instead of trying to overwhelm the Marauder ships with firepower, they used speed and accuracy to target specific systems. Weapon turrets went dark, sensor arrays failed, and engine output fluctuated. One Marauder destroyer lost main power and drifted helplessly. The second took heavy damage to its weapon systems and began retreating. But the third destroyer, Crixthak's flagship, remained combat-capable. Enough games, the Marauder warlord snarled. Ram the transport. If we cannot take it intact, we will at least deny it to others. Nam saw the threat immediately. All fighters, intercept the flagship. Protect the Serenity. The human fighters moved to block the destroyer's attack run, using their superior maneuverability to stay ahead of its weapons. But 18 fighters could not stop a ship determined to ram their mothership. Commander, we need to reveal additional capabilities, suggested one of her squadron leaders. Negative, Nam replied firmly. Mission parameters require limited engagement only. Prepare for withdrawal. The fighters began pulling back, allowing the Marauder flagship to approach the Serenity. To any observer, it would appear that human defensive capabilities had reached their limit. Captain Park activated the ship's emergency broadcast system. Mayday. Mayday. Human transport under attack by Marauder forces. We have taken casualties and are preparing to abandon ship. The message went out on all galactic frequencies, reaching Council monitoring stations and nearby alien patrols. It would take hours for help to arrive. Too late to affect the immediate situation, but other ships were listening as well. Hidden sensors throughout the region tracked every movement, every weapon discharge, and every tactical decision. The battle served multiple purposes. Beyond simple defense, Nam's fighters made one final attack run against the Marauder flagship before withdrawing to their concealed bays. They had inflicted enough damage to prove human military competence, while carefully avoiding any display of their full capabilities. The damaged Marauder destroyer that had lost main power was quietly boarded by human marines using stealth shuttles. The aliens would never know their ship had been infiltrated until much later, when intelligence specialists finished copying their computer systems. All fighters recovered, Nam reported. Serenity is ready for emergency jump. Captain Park waited until the last possible moment before activating the hyperspace drive. The transport vanished just as Crixthak's destroyer reached ramming distance, leaving the Marauder warlord frustrated and confused. The Serenity reappeared safely in the outer system, well beyond Marauder sensor range. The crew immediately began transmitting damage reports and casualty figures that painted a picture of a barely successful escape. Status report, Park requested. All fighters and pilots recovered safely, Commander Nam confirmed. We suffered no actual casualties, but the performance data will show appropriate losses for a desperate defensive action. The intelligence gathered during the engagement was already being transmitted to Earth through hidden communication networks. Marauder tactics, weapon capabilities, and ship specifications joined the growing database of galactic military information. Meanwhile, the partially disabled Marauder destroyer drifted in space while its crew attempted repairs. They had no idea that human infiltration teams were systematically copying their computer files, weapon designs, and navigation data. Signal Earth Command, Park ordered. Mission accomplished. The Marauders now believe humans possess moderate defensive capabilities, but remain vulnerable to overwhelming force. The response came quickly through quantum-encrypted channels. Understood, Serenity. Proceed to secondary extraction point. Intelligence teams will transfer the captured data for analysis. Hours later, Ambassador Min Jun stood before the Galactic Council, describing the attack on the Serenity with appropriate concern and gravity. His report emphasized human vulnerability while requesting increased protection for civilian shipping. The Marauders are becoming bolder, he explained to the assembled delegates. Our defensive capabilities proved barely adequate against 3 destroyers. If they attack in larger numbers, human ships will be helpless. The alien delegates listened with sympathy and growing concern. Several species offered military escort services for human cargo vessels, seeing an opportunity for profit while helping the apparently vulnerable humans. Perhaps it is time to establish formal protection protocols, suggested High Counselor Vexani. Human shipping appears to require additional security measures. Ambassador Zethkar of the Velkran Republic leaned forward eagerly. The Republic would be honored to provide escort services for human vessels. Our destroyers are more than capable of handling Marauder threats. Other species quickly made similar offers, each hoping to gain influence with humanity while earning escort fees. They saw the attack on the Serenity as proof that humans needed their protection and guidance. Min Jun accepted their offers gracefully, negotiating escort contracts that would place alien observers aboard human ships, while providing Earth with detailed intelligence about galactic military capabilities and procedures. Earth appreciates the Council's concern for our safety, he said with genuine gratitude. We look forward to learning from your experience and expertise. The delegates felt satisfied with their response to the crisis. They had demonstrated galactic unity while protecting a vulnerable member species. The fact that humans had shown some defensive capability only proved they were worth protecting. None of them suspected that the attack on the Serenity had been carefully orchestrated to produce exactly this reaction. Earth's strategists had predicted the galactic response with remarkable accuracy. In the shadows beyond Pluto, Admiral Kim Tae-hyun reviewed the intelligence reports from the engagement. The Marauders had revealed their standard tactics, the Council had demonstrated their protective instincts, and various alien species had shown their eagerness to profit from human vulnerability. Phase 3 can proceed as planned, he informed his staff. The galaxy continues to see exactly what we want them to see. The game was becoming more complex, with additional players revealing their capabilities and intentions. But Earth remained several moves ahead, gathering information while revealing only carefully selected aspects of human military strength. Soon, the Marauders would make their major offensive move. When they did, the galaxy would discover whether their assumptions about military cooperation and defensive coordination were sufficient to meet a real threat. The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened as alarms echoed through Nexus Prime. High Counselor Vexani's energy form flickered between red and orange, reflecting her anxiety as she addressed the assembled delegates. The situation is critical, she announced. Marauder forces have launched coordinated attacks across 17 systems simultaneously. They are targeting the Centauri trade hub with over 200 ships. Admiral Kim Tae-hyun monitored the crisis from the bridge of the Indomitable, watching as galactic civilization faced its greatest military challenge. His crew maintained their stations with quiet efficiency, while the hidden Supercarrier remained invisible in Pluto's shadow. Status of galactic defensive forces? He asked his intelligence officer. Lieutenant Colonel Shin Yong-jun consulted his tactical displays. Council fleets are responding according to their standard protocols. Each species is prioritizing the defense of their own territory over coordinated action. Captain Yoon Ji-hye studied the developing battle from her command station. The Centauri hub is the key. If the Marauders control that trade nexus, they can threaten shipping throughout the core systems. On Nexus Prime, the council chamber buzzed with panicked discussions. Ambassador Zethkar paced nervously as he received updates from Velcran fleet commanders. Our ships are heavily engaged, defending the Rigel sector. We cannot spare additional vessels for Centauri. Commander Thys clicked his mandibles in frustration. The Chithari swarm fleets are committed to protecting our hive worlds. The Marauders knew exactly when and where to strike. The strategic coordination that the Council claimed to possess was proving to be an illusion under pressure. Each species fell back on their own defensive doctrines, leaving gaps that the Marauders exploited ruthlessly. Dr. Lim Hae-wan analyzed the battle reports from her station aboard the Indomitable. The Marauder strategy is more sophisticated than previous intelligence suggested. They are using coordinated attacks to force exactly this kind of fragmented response. Interesting, Admiral Kim mused. Perhaps we have underestimated their tactical capabilities. Or perhaps someone has been advising them. The battle at Centauri was not going well for the galactic forces. Council ships arrived in small groups, lacking unified command or coordinated tactics. The Marauders concentrated their forces and defeated each arriving fleet separately. Ambassador Min-jun watched the crisis unfold from the human quarters on Nexus Prime. His secure communicator chimed with an incoming message from the panicked council leadership. "Ambassador," came the voice of High Counselor Vexanani. "We must request assistance from any available source. Does Earth have additional ships that might help with civilian evacuation?" Min-jun paused for exactly the right amount of time before responding. "However, our military capabilities are limited, as the Council has noted. Any help would be appreciated." Vexani replied desperately. "The situation is deteriorating rapidly." Tescomoted. Just pawns. 8-1. Tescomotedin. Escomoted. The conversation was being monitored by intelligence services throughout the galaxy. Everyone would hear Earth's reluctant offer to provide whatever modest assistance they could manage. "I will contact Earth Command immediately," Min-jun promised. "We should be able to provide some support vessels within 12 hours. On Nexus Prime, Ambassador Zethkar contacted Min-jun directly. The proud Velcran was reduced to asking for help from the species he had dismissed as weak and primitive just days earlier. "Ambassador, I know our peoples have had differences of opinion, but Centauri is critical to galactic commerce. If your ships have any cargo capacity, we need evacuation support for civilian populations." Min-jun accepted the request with grace and dignity that impressed even his former critics. "Of course, Ambassador. Earth will provide whatever assistance we can. I am requesting authorization to bring additional vessels through your territorial boundaries." The Council granted immediate permission for human ships to enter any system where they might provide humanitarian aid. The authorization was broadcast on all official frequencies, ensuring that no one could claim ignorance when Earth's true fleet capabilities were revealed. Admiral Kim received the authorization codes and smiled slightly. "Captain Yoon, signal all departments. It is time to drop the mask." The bridge crew moved with practiced efficiency as they prepared to reveal the Indomitable's existence to the galaxy. Systems that had remained hidden for 3 years came online, and the massive ship began powering up to full operational status. "Stealth field disengaging," reported Chief Engineer Choi Dong-wook. "All systems showing green across the board. We are ready for full revelation." Crost. Tain. Crost. Captain Yoon checked her command displays one final time. "All fighter squadrons report ready for launch. Marines are standing by. Medical and engineering teams are prepared for humanitarian operations." The Indomitable slowly emerged from behind Pluto, its stealth fields deactivating to reveal the true size and power of humanity's hidden fleet. The ship's sensor signature began appearing on monitoring stations throughout the solar system. "Sir, We are being detected by galactic monitoring networks. Lieutenant Commander Park Jae-sung reported from communications. Multiple species are attempting to scan us. Let them look, Admiral Kim replied. They should see exactly what we have built. Less. 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 The sensor readings that reached Galactic Intelligence Services were staggering. The ship registering on their instruments was larger than anything in known space, with an energy signature that defied their understanding of human technology. On various alien worlds, intelligence analysts stared at their displays in disbelief. The readings had to be errors. Humans could not have built something that massive without anyone noticing. Admiral, Captain Yoon reported, we are receiving priority communications from 17 different species. They are all requesting confirmation of our sensor readings. Ignore them for now, Kim decided. Plot a course for the Centauri system. Maximum speed. The Indomitable activated its hyperspace drive systems, revealing another technological surprise. The ship could move faster than most galactic vessels, despite its enormous size. Earth's engineers had solved problems that alien scientists considered impossible. As news of the mysterious human supership spread through galactic communication networks, panic began to set in among various species. Intelligence services frantically searched their files for any mention of human shipbuilding capabilities. Ambassador Min Jun continued his performance on Nexus Prime, acting surprised when informed about the large ship detected leaving Earth's solar system. I was not aware Earth possessed such a vessel, he said with convincing confusion. Command may have authorized one of our deep space research stations to assist with the crisis. The explanation satisfied no one. But before questions could be pressed further, the Indomitable arrived at the edge of the Centauri system. Its presence was immediately detected by both Council forces and Marauder fleets. Marauder warlord Krixthok, commanding the assault on Centauri, stared at his sensor displays in confusion. What is that thing? It is larger than a battle station. His tactical officer checked the readings repeatedly. Energy signatures are off our scales. Whatever it is, it carries more firepower than our entire fleet. The Council forces were equally stunned. Admiral Talar of the Velkran fleet transmitted an urgent message. Unknown vessel. Identify yourself immediately. You are entering an active combat zone. Captain Yoon opened communications on all frequencies. This is Captain Yoon Ji-hae of the United Earth ship Indomitable. We are here to provide humanitarian assistance to civilian populations under attack. The response was immediate silence. Every ship in the system, both Council and Marauder, stopped their current actions to stare at the massive human vessel that had appeared without warning. High Counselor Vexani's voice came through on priority channels from Nexus Prime. Captain Yoon, what is the nature of your vessel? Our records show no human ships of that size or capability. Tupan. The Indomitable is a deep space research and humanitarian vessel, Yoon replied calmly. We carry medical facilities, fabrication workshops, and emergency support equipment for crisis situations. It was technically true, though the ship's primary purpose was obviously military. The medical facilities were large enough to treat thousands of casualties. The fabrication workshops could repair entire fleets, and the emergency support equipment included enough fighters to challenge galactic navies. Admiral Kim stood and walked to the forward viewports, looking out at the battle-scarred Centauri system. Damaged Council ships drifted helplessly while Marauder vessels prepared for another assault. Signal all ships, he ordered. Earth offers medical assistance to wounded personnel and repair services to damaged vessels. We also request that hostile forces withdraw to allow humanitarian operations. The message was broadcast to both fleets simultaneously. It was a diplomatic masterpiece that offered help to allies while giving enemies a chance to retreat with dignity. Warlord Krixthok was not interested in diplomacy. One ship, no matter how large, cannot defeat our entire fleet. All ships, Concentrate fire on the human vessel. Over 100 Marauder ships turned their weapons toward the Indomitable, preparing to destroy this new threat before it could interfere with their conquest. Captain Yoon looked at Admiral Kim, awaiting orders. The moment of revelation had finally arrived. After 3 years of careful preparation and strategic deception, humanity was ready to show the galaxy what they had really been building in the darkness between stars. "Captain," Admiral Kim said quietly, "you may engage the enemy." Captain Yoon Ji-hae turned to her weapons officer. "Launch all fighter squadrons. Prepare defensive systems. Show them what human engineering can accomplish." The Indomitable's massive launch bays opened along its hull, revealing the true scale of its military capabilities. Fighter after fighter streamed out into space, forming into coordinated squadrons that moved with precision no alien force had ever demonstrated. 1,200 fighters launched and forming attack patterns, reported Commander Nam Subin from the Flight Operations Center. All pilots report ready for combat. The number was staggering. Most galactic species considered 50 fighters a substantial force. The Indomitable carried more combat aircraft than many entire alien fleets, each equipped with technology that surpassed anything the galaxy had seen. Marauder warlord Crixthak watched the launch with growing alarm. "Impossible. No ship can carry that many fighters. Our sensors must be malfunctioning." His tactical officer confirmed the readings with shaking appendages. "Sir, each human fighter shows energy signatures comparable to our destroyers. Their weapons are reading as advanced plasma cannons and quantum torpedoes." The first wave of human fighters reached the Marauder fleet before the aliens could properly respond. Instead of the chaotic individual attacks most species used, the human pilots moved as a single, coordinated unit. Pilot Lee Da-eun led her squadron in a demonstration of tactical innovation that left alien observers speechless. Rather than simply destroying Marauder ships, her fighters used precision targeting to disable weapons, engines, and life support systems. "Target their propulsion first," she ordered over the squadron frequency. "Disable them, then move to capture procedures. Command wants prisoners for intelligence gathering." The human fighters swarmed around Marauder vessels like angry insects, their movements coordinated by quantum communication networks that allowed instant tactical adjustments. Within minutes, half the Marauder fleet found themselves dead in space. Admiral Kim watched the engagement from the Indomitable's bridge with satisfaction. "Dr. Lim, what are you observing about Marauder?" "Tactical responses. They are completely unprepared for coordinated swarm tactics," the xenobiologist reported. "Their ships operate independently, with minimal coordination between vessels. Our pilots are defeating them systematically." The Council forces watched the battle in stunned silence. Admiral Taller of the Velcran fleet transmitted an urgent message. "Human vessel, your fighters are engaging targets we have been unable to defeat for hours. How is this possible?" "I'm one," Captain Yoon responded calmly. "Earth's military doctrine emphasizes coordination and adaptability over individual ship superiority. Our pilots train to work as a unified force rather than independent operators." It was a diplomatic way of saying that human tactical thinking was decades ahead of galactic military science. While alien species focused on building bigger weapons, humans had solved the problems of communication, coordination, and tactical flexibility. Warlord Crixthak made a desperate decision. All remaining ships ram the human carrier. 20 Marauder destroyers broke from the main engagement and charged directly at the Indomitable. Their crews prepared for suicide attacks, hoping to cripple the massive human ship. "Incoming ramming attack," reported the tactical officer. 20 ships on collision course. Captain Yoon did not seem concerned. "Activate point defense systems. Deploy interceptor squadrons." The Indomitable's hull came alive with defensive weapons that had remained hidden until now. Particle beams and plasma cannons emerged from concealed turrets, creating a wall of fire that no ship could penetrate. The Marauder destroyers disintegrated one by one as they encountered the carrier's defensive grid. Those that survived the automated weapons found themselves facing fresh squadrons of human fighters equipped specifically for ship-to-ship combat. Within 30 minutes, the entire Marauder fleet was either destroyed or disabled. Not a single human fighter had been lost, and the Indomitable remained completely undamaged. The battle had been less a fight than a demonstration. All hostile vessels neutralized, Commander Nam reported. Marine boarding teams are securing disabled ships for intelligence gathering and prisoner processing. High Counselor Vexani's voice came through on all frequencies from Nexus Prime. Captain Yoon, the Council requests immediate clarification. What is the true nature of your vessel and its capabilities? Before Captain Yoon could respond, the Indomitable revealed another surprise. Massive fabrication bays opened along the ship's lower hull, deploying repair drones and medical shuttles toward the damaged Council vessels. We are dispatching repair and medical teams to assist your wounded, Yoon announced. Our fabrication facilities can replace damaged components, and our medical bays can treat casualties from any known species. The human repair teams worked with efficiency that amazed the alien crews. Damaged Council ships that would have required weeks in shipyards were restored to full functionality within hours. Wounded aliens received medical treatment that exceeded their species' own capabilities. Ambassador Min Jun finally arrived at the Centauri system aboard a human diplomatic vessel, maintaining his performance as a surprised representative, discovering his species' hidden capabilities. Captain Yoon, he said over open communications that every galactic intelligence service was monitoring. Earth Command did not inform me of the Indomitable's true specifications. I was told it was a research vessel. The ship does conduct research, Yoon replied with technical accuracy. Research into defensive technologies, medical applications, and humanitarian support systems. The diplomatic dance continued as news of the battle spread throughout galactic space. Every species scrambled to reassess their understanding of human military capabilities while trying to maintain political relationships. Dr. Lim monitored alien communications from her analysis station. Admiral, we are receiving over 300 requests for information about human technology, military capabilities, and fleet composition. What is our response? Admiral Kim asked. Ambassador Min Jun is handling political inquiries, she replied. His standard response is that Earth possesses adequate defensive capabilities for peaceful purposes. The phrase was becoming a running joke among the human crew. After witnessing the destruction of an entire Marauder fleet, alien species were desperately trying to understand what humans considered adequate. High Counselor Vexani arrived at Centauri aboard her personal vessel, accompanied by representatives from a dozen major species. They requested permission to board the Indomitable for formal meetings. Admiral Kim agreed to limited tours, allowing alien delegates to see carefully selected areas of the ship. What they observed left them speechless. The Indomitable was not just larger than their biggest vessels, it was more advanced in every measurable way. How long has Earth possessed this technology? Asked Ambassador Zethkar as he stared at the ship's massive fighter bays. Human engineering has always focused on practical applications. Min Jun replied, diplomatically. We prefer to build things that work, rather than things that look impressive. The Velcran ambassador studied the human fighters being serviced in the launch bays. Each one carried more firepower than many alien escort vessels. Your species has been considerably more capable than we realized. Earth appreciates the Council's previous guidance and protection, Min Jun said gracefully. We have used the time to focus on development rather than territorial expansion. It was a masterpiece of diplomatic language that acknowledged alien assumptions while avoiding any direct lies about human capabilities. Every word would be analyzed by intelligence services trying to understand humanity's true strength. The most important question came from High Counselor Vexani during a private meeting with Admiral Kim. How many vessels like the Indomitable does Earth possess? Kim considered his response carefully. The question was crucial to galactic political calculations. Too high a number would cause panic and possible preemptive attacks. Too low would invite challenges from aggressive species. Earth has sufficient defensive capabilities to protect our interests and assist our allies, he replied finally. Beyond that, we prefer not to discuss specific numbers. The answer was perfect. It suggested substantial capabilities without revealing exact figures. More importantly, the word sufficient implied that Earth had built exactly what they needed rather than engaging in an arms race. Vexani pressed further. The galactic community would benefit from understanding the scope of human military strength. High Counselor, Kim said with quiet confidence, Earth has enough. The simple phrase sent chills through every alien delegate who heard it. Enough could mean anything from a few ships to a vast hidden fleet. The uncertainty was more terrifying than any specific threat. As the meetings concluded and alien delegates returned to their ships, the galaxy began adapting to a new reality. Humanity was no longer the weak species requiring protection. They were a major power that had been hiding their true capabilities for years. The political implications were staggering. Every treaty, every territorial agreement, every trade deal would need to be reconsidered in light of human military strength. Species that had dismissed Earth now scrambled to establish better relationships. Ambassador Minjun returned to Nexus Prime to find his schedule filled with meeting requests from species that had previously ignored human diplomatic overtures. Everyone wanted to understand humanity's intentions and capabilities. The galaxy is re-evaluating their assumptions about Earth, he reported to Admiral Kim during their secure communication. Fear, respect, and curiosity, in equal measures. Good, Kim replied. Fear prevents aggression. Respect enables cooperation. And curiosity maintains engagement. We have achieved optimal positioning. The Indomitable prepared to depart Centauri, its mission accomplished beyond all expectations. The Marauder threat had been eliminated. Galactic military capabilities had been observed under combat conditions. And humanity's true strength had been revealed in the most favorable possible circumstances. As the massive ship activated its hyperspace drives, every sensor in the system tracked its departure. The aliens wanted to know where it was going and what it might do next. The answer was simple. The Indomitable returned to the darkness between worlds, joining the other ships of Earth's hidden fleet. The galaxy had seen one vessel and learned that humans possessed capabilities far beyond their assumptions. But the most important lesson was unspoken. When High Counselor Vex Ani asked how many ships like the Indomitable existed, Admiral Kim had answered truthfully. Earth had enough. The galaxy would spend years trying to determine what enough meant. They would never learn that Earth's fleet was large enough to protect their interests, assist their allies, and ensure that humanity would never again be underestimated. In the quiet spaces between stars, human ships continued their patient watch over galactic civilization. They had revealed themselves when necessary and withdrawn when appropriate. The galaxy was safer, humanity was respected, and the future remained full of possibilities. The game of galactic politics had entered a new phase, with humanity holding cards that no one else had suspected existed. And in the darkness beyond Pluto, Admiral Kim Tae-hyun smiled as he reviewed reports of alien diplomatic overtures flooding Earth's communication networks. The galaxy had finally learned what humans meant by adequate defensive capabilities.